I feel so bad for Gen Z. Their 401k plan is mom letting them know they can stay there until they're 30. In this video that I recently seen, they interviewed a whole bunch of Gen Zers. And they're not that hopeful, man. And I'm not as well. They're going through it. They're really going through it.
You're in your 40s and you're making $100,000. Maybe you got a kid at home. Are you going to feel successful?
It just depends.
I'm going to probably need a little bit more just because of the cost of living.
If you're in your 40s and you're making $200,000, will you feel successful?
Yeah, I think that would clear it.
Yeah.
Now, $100,000 during these times, man, it's sad to say because it's amazing. Back in days, people used to thrive to make $100,000. It's not enough. It's just not enough. Because for some people to even get a $100,000 salary, they need to go to college. We already know how expensive it is going to college. So you're already coming back with student loans, trying to survive during these times with rent being so high. $100,000 is just not enough. You see, you need to make a whole lot more than that in order to even pay off your debt before you start trying to buy a house or get a decent car, just trying to survive during these times. Because right now with the price in groceries and the median rent is like damn near $2,000 something a month, it's extremely difficult for someone to survive with just $100,000. It really is. And I know it's for some people, it's really hard to believe, but you just have to put yourself in the shoes of someone coming out of college with all these dreams and hopes. Right now, with the current times in the economy, how difficult it could be. It's extremely difficult. And I feel really bad for Gen Z. I really do. Let's keep on watching.
Kind of?
Yeah.
Getting there?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
The American dream, now more costly than ever.
Raise the hand if you're making $300,000 in your 40s. Will you feel successful?
Yeah.
Yes?
And even that might not be enough for some, with a recent poll showing that the average Gen Zer says they'll need more than $500,000 a year to feel successful.
I don't think our generation can budget their way out of this crisis.
You cannot budget your way out of this crisis. That is so true. You can budget your way to try to stabilize things and to be responsible, but you can't budget your way through prosperity. It is extremely difficult, especially if your income is just not there. If your income is not there, there's only so much you could do to strip away from your expenses. There's only so much you could do. You got to boost your income. And the problem with that is a lot of these corporations are not paying that much. They're not giving you the fair wages. You see, probably 10, 15 years ago when you had a job, you used to get 6% raises, 5% raises. Now you get 2% or damn near 1%, and you're being told, well, you know what? At least you have a job, right? Or they're saying well, that's what everyone else got. If you're there, you're working extremely hard. You don't want to get what everyone else is getting. You want to get your fair pay raise. But that is not going to be the case during these times. It's not. And that's something that Gen Zers are definitely experiencing because that crap is hard, man. You see, I'm a millennial and I'm kind of on the late stage of it. And I remember those times when the pay raises were decent. They were good. The cost of living was a lot more maintainable. But the older I got and the cost of living getting higher and higher, it got even difficult for me to get along with those pay raises I got in the past. It just wasn't enough, right? And now the jobs that I have, they're not giving you a fair wage. Now, with that being said, making $580,000 a year, come on. The expectations got to go down quite a bit, especially in your 40s. By the time you're in your 40s, you should be able to have your everything damn near paid off, your student loans, your car payments, or reduce your credit cards, all that stuff. Try to pay that off as much as possible. Because if you're going into your 40s with an expectancy of making $500,000 a year, I don't know, man. I think there's a little bit too much social media watching and seeing what people are doing on social media. People are acting like everyone's entrepreneurs and making so much money, because that is extremely difficult to do unless you became a doctor or a lawyer. But if you're not in that field and you're expecting to make $500,000 a year, that's extremely, extremely difficult to do.
25-year-old Emma Edney was recently working in consulting and now looking for a new job. Jaden Thompson, 22, an aspiring UFC fighter, works in waste management. McGregor Graham is 27 and works in media. Jarlene Rivera is a 21-year-old pharmacy technician and content creator.
Raise of hands, how many of you have watched what's been going on with the markets? I'm sure your investments weren't doing well this last week.
Nah, but it wasn't. But at the end of the day, you always gotta stick to the plan. Our president is trying to make a change, and I believe he will. I'm not really concerned about it. He's a businessman.
Yeah, a lot of you Gen Zers out there, please pay attention to what he was saying. Right? First, he's talking about the whole president having faith in the president. I don't have faith in the president. I just have faith in my financial decisions that I'm making. Now, I understand with the Trump doing the things that he does. He's attacking Jerome Powell. He's adding tariffs. Yeah, it's causing a lot of turbulence in the market, but they're young, right? The younger you are, man, with all this market turbulence, you can ride it out, right? Especially now that the market is going on a dip. You can buy continuously now because you can ride it out. You're saying, and he's saying, oh, you know what? I trust in what Trump is doing. But this guy, he's a kid. He's probably going to go through 4 or 5, or 6 administrations by the time he retires. So he has nothing to worry about when it comes to what Trump is doing. Nothing at all. Because even if Trump does what he is thinking that Trump could do, the next president will come in and they will change the economy as well. But the market is going to be the market. The market is always going to go up. Now, it depends on when you're investing, but the market is always going to go up and down, up and down, up and down. So watching it at a young age is no point to that. Right now, what we need to do is just handle your debt. Focus on handling your debt. And if you can put some money into investing, because I know a lot of Gen Zers are struggling, you got to put something, okay? At least get your company matched and tackle that debt as much as possible. If you get rid of that debt at a young age, in your 20s, you get rid of all your debt, and then you could put all that extra money into the market. You could get to enjoy things in life. You could try to save up for a house. You could do it in a nice, slow pace. You'll be set up to win. But if you're neglecting paying your debt and you're continuously watching the market and you're freaking out, so due to that, you're not investing, you're just stuck in the middle and you're going to be struggling financially. You will not be able to have a $200,000 or $300,000 salary, as they're saying, or $500,000 salary in your 40s and be able to enjoy it if you're walking around with massive amount of debt. That's the number one thing you should do, man. Really, is just pay off that debt. That's the cause of so much misery for the Gen Zers.
With young adults hitting major life milestones like marriage and financial independence later in life, there's anxiety over whether the American dream is achievable for them.
Do you feel like hard work pays off now?
It's like really hard to say.
Our generation is starting behind, loaded with student loans, higher interest rates, housing costs exploding.
Finding a spot to rent in the city is hard, and with mortgage rates going up again, buying a home seems out of reach. A survey published last year showed nearly a third of Gen Z adults, under 26 at the time, still lived with their parents.
You have to live with your parents during these times. How do you recommend people to just live with their parents? Right? You have to. I understand it's like a pride thing that we have here in society where everyone's like, no, you got to be responsible and do your thing. But man, if you have the opportunity to live with your parents and you work hard, you grind hard, and you're trying to save or pay off your debt or whatever it is, do that. That's the best financial thing you can do in your life is stay with your parents if you can tolerate it. Or even if you can't tolerate it, man, you got to do what you got to do. Pay off all that debt, then go on to the world. And yes, everything's be expensive, but at least you're able to pay it. That's the key here. And I want to address something that the girl said earlier as well about does working hard pay off? I'm going to give you guys some of my wisdom. Okay, I'm 43 years old. I'm going to give you guys some of my wisdom about working hard, where I thought the same thing. I thought working hard would get you, up the corporate ladder, get you the bonuses and the raises. And later on through my career, I recognized that's not the case. But I recognized I was doing it wrong. You see, I wasn't working hard on myself. I wasn't working hard on building my investments. I wasn't working hard on just trying to start a business. I wasn't working hard on making myself better financially or just a better person, right? I made myself working hard simply for the corporations. And you see, the problem with that is you're trying to satisfy the needs of a manager, the needs of a CEO. And their expectations are not aligned with your expectations. You might not agree with what they're saying, what your goals should be, but you're trying to achieve and work hard for a goal that they set on you. When you really need to work on your own self, work on your own goal, that's the key to it all. Work hard on your side hustle. Work hard on your business. Work hard on your education. That's what you need to work hard on. So to me, working hard, right? Hard work does pay off, but it pays off when you do it for yourself, not for only strictly for a corporation. Drop a comment down below, guys, and let me know how you feel about that.
I'll walk past like a real estate place and just see listings, and I'm just like, that's an amount of money that just seems like I can't even imagine. It feels kind of insurmountable.
Every time I get paid, it's either my car payment I have to pay and car insurance, and then on top of that, phone bill. So it's like so much at once hitting me, and then my credit card that I have to pay off.
Jarlene and Jaden are engaged and planning for their future.
We're trying our best to just stay with our parents and like not waste like so much at a time, but I don't know.
It's hard to see a path.
Hard to see a path right now, especially with the amount that I'm getting paid.
Jarlene overwhelmed, but her fiance optimistic, tying their future financial success to personal effort.
Where's your confidence coming from?
Just keep on working, staying disciplined.
Man, that's a good dude. That's a good dude. He has a good mentality. Yes, there's a lot of distractions. There's a lot of fear. Of course there's a lot of fear. All over the news, that's all you're hearing is about how bad the market is, how much Gen Zers are broke and they're complaining and yada yada, and then Trump and everything you keep on hearing with the market. Of course, you can be like, I don't see a path out. But you have to stick to the plan. You see, them both living with their parents, that's sticking to the plan. It's going to work out. And his optimism is going to get him there. Now, I understand people say that, like this toxic positivity at times, right? I get that. But you have no other choice, right? You have no other choice but try to be positive and do all the right things and be extremely responsible for the decisions that you make. You see, she was saying in the video, buying a car, right? Paying for a cell phone. And then the other lady was saying, oh, how they're behind with student loans. A lot of that stuff is a choice, right? You do understand a lot of that stuff is a choice. You can control how much money you're spending on going to school based upon the school choices. It is a choice. Now, I understand for some people, you got to get into debt. You have no other choice. Financial aid is not there. You get to a whole bunch of student loan debt. But you have to try to find a way to reduce that as much as possible. We all know now, there's no more excuses, that we know that going to school is extremely expensive. And depending, obviously, on your career path you're taking or the degree you're going for, you might not have the ability to work part-time, but you have to at least work some part-time, okay? You have to work part-time, and at least for the people watching this video or any parents out there who have kids, make them start applying for scholarships now, because you do not want them to be in this, coming into the market, just struggling during these times. Now, luckily, the girl and the guy was saying that their parents allow them to stay there, which is cool, man. It's really cool because that's the best way for the kids to get ahead. Because back in days, parents would give money to the kids. Now parents are broke as hell, man. Parents right now are broke as hell, and they don't have the ability to just give the kids money, to just buy a house. It's not the case. And if you're doing that, then most likely the parents will move in with you, because right now the cost of living is expensive for everyone. For every single person, it's expensive right now. But anyway, guys, drop a comment down below and let me know what you think, because Gen Zers, man, if you're out there, I feel for you, man. But just keep your head up. Things will get better. Let me know what you're going through during these times. Catch you guys on my next video. Peace.